Nothing else, just come out with us. We chant the holy name together. If that's also not, just come have lunch with us. Be out there. The weather will be nice. Just hang out with us. That's okay too. It's just that the spirit of going out on Sankirtan is what's important. So you're welcome to join us. In fact, you're invited to join us. Saturday, September 29th, starting at 10 o'clock in the temple. And for us, we've been doing this for a few months now. It's been a very, very nice and rewarding experience. More details to come. If you don't have your email address registered with us, please do give it to us and let the Mataji in the lobby know, because she's also she's in charge of Sankirtan for us, or Acharya Nishta Prabhu here. Please give him your email address so we can inform you about the monthly Sankirtan festival. So thank you very much. Tonight's Sunday feast lecture will be given by His Grace Pritushava Prabhu. Pritushava Prabhu is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and for the past 35 years or more, very actively involved in book distribution. He and his wife, Mother Danakeli, have spent many, many years living out of their van, distributing books in different college campuses, traveling from one university situation to another, meeting young students, distributing Prabhupada's books, and that's how they've lived their Grahastha life. So they're visiting us for Radhashtami weekend, and last night Mataji spoke. Tonight Pritushava Prabhu will be speaking. And then 6:30 we'll have prasadam upstairs for everyone. So thank you for joining us. Hare Krishna. Please turn off your cell phones, because they have a very unique knack of ringing at the wrong time. Thank you.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Ballava Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Kishore Kishori ki, Jagannath Dev Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatayade Setarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'd like to read a verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita beginning with a discussion on the receiving the mercy of Krishna, and a little in the mood of what we were hearing yesterday about the mercy of Srimati Radharani. I guess I'm repeating something also we heard last night. I'll just chant through from 9th chapter, text 13. I'll just chant it once and read the translation. Mahatmanastumam partha daivam prakritim ashritaha vajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Krishna speaking. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. I'll read part of the purport. In this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains to the stage of great soul, Mahatma. And referring to the verse Srila Prabhupada mentioned, in the 7th chapter, Daivi hi esha gunamayi, mama maya dharatyaya, mameviye prapadyante, mayamitam taranti te. I'd like to read part of this purport also. The Lord is explaining this, our situation, saying this divine energy of mine consisting of the 3 modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Purport: the Supreme Personality of Godhead has His innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. So, interesting to note. Everything is originally spiritual energy. But for the Lord's purpose, He's manifested this material energy, material nature, within which we are now caught, trapped, and we're kind of locked into it because of our own consciousness and conception, our own use of free will, so to speak. Prabhupada continues, although the living entities are part of his energies and are therefore divine, due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. Due to contact, being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior nature, matter, their illusion is also eternal. Prabhupada is painting this picture, what a difficult position we're in. Our illusion is eternal, right? Anadi karma pale. The the actions and reactions we cannot trace back. We cannot trace out its origin. Beginningless. So consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material nature is ultimately conducted by the Supreme Will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Vedas confirm this as follows. Quote, although Maya, the illusion, is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshvara, the supreme controller. So Prabhupada goes on to explain that Daivihi Esha Guna Mayi, Guna, the qualities, the three modes of material nature. Guna means rope. Therefore, we're actually tied up, we're bound, tightly bound by ropes. And he explains how one who is tied up by ropes cannot untie himself. So, the Lord is the master of material nature, so only He can untie us. Only He can free us. Therefore, Krishna has the name Mukunda, one who gives liberation. And so, we're thinking of this process for in relation to the Sri Radhastami Day, the appearance of Srimati Radharani, who is the internal pleasure potency of the Lord, who is Bhakti Devi, or the goddess of devotion. And so we're persons, the Supreme is person, personal, the most perfect person. So to transfer ourselves from material nature to our original spiritual nature, we have to be very personal about it. We have to take up this process of yoga, actually make a connection with the Supreme Person. Because He's, despite what, as we were hearing last night, many people think that or one group, religious group, is stating that God hates sinners. The Lord is simply waiting and very anxious and most loving to every living entity. Krishna says, Mamaivam so jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. That all living entities in this material world are my eternal parts and parcels. And yet they're struggling very hard with the senses and the mind, trying to become happy, forgetting me. So, Krishna is wanting us to turn to Him, take shelter of Him, and revive a personal relationship with Him. And so, this is the process, as we heard in this verse, Daiviyesha gunamami mama maya dharatiya mamme viye prapadyante maya metam taranti te. Prapadyante means to surrender. So, surrender means to interact, to take up personal relationship. And in the first verse we read, Mahatmanastumam Partha, Krishna says that the great soul who is under the protection of the divine energy, this is the qualification, under the protection of Srimati Radharani, who is bestowing upon the living entity the potency for loving and serving Krishna. So one who is under that protection, he's freed. That means being freed from the modes of material nature. He engages in loving devotional service to me. So this is the... It just brings up the point, not that bhakti yoga, the highest condition of yoga and the perfectional stage for the living entity, is not a passive state. So we know to have a relationship, I may approach you with something, saying something, requesting something, and it's up to you to respond. So relationship is going both ways. And so the real symptom of surrendering or taking shelter, Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. Ashrita means taking shelter. So if we're actually taking shelter, and we can analyze this in the processes of bhakti yoga, then we're taking up some real devotional service. And devotional service means continuous. This is the real practice. Devotional service is defined as uninterrupted and unmotivated, and for something favorable for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it takes knowledge, it takes guidance. We're chanting Hare Krishna, but the result is, if we are successful, the purification of heart is successful, and we actually are receiving the mercy of Srimati Radharani, then we'll see a strong inspiration for performing some practical devotional service. And there's so much service to be done. The Lord's movement is it's an educational movement and it's a cultural movement to inform people about their position, which is completely transcendental to the effects of these three modes of nature and to the sufferings of birth, death, old age, and disease. We don't have to accept it, but just due to ignorance, we're accepting. So if we look at Srimati Radharani, she's standing there with her right hand. She's offering blessings. She's offering mercy. She actually, it's her nature. Her nature is described as one of Audarya, very compassionate. So Bhakti Devi, she's the soft, loving energy of the Lord, female nature. And her position is the most intimate, loving servitor of the Lord, and also she organizes the service of the so many other devotees, other topmost devotees. And Srila Prabhupada tells us that the spiritual master actually is either a confidential representative of Srimati Radharani or of Lord Nityananda Balaram. So, Srimati Radharani, also Krishna's other male half, Balaram, they are showing perfect loving service, completely attached. So this is the spiritual world, and everyone is following like that. So Radharani she is bestowing the potency. She is giving the Hladini Shakti, which is the potency, a loving potency to serve. We don't have that. We're without that. So we have very little taste now for devotional service. But if we're simply personal and take up the process that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given, that we can approach directly, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala, that Krishna has made himself easily available through his holy name. So beginning with the name, Nama, then Rupa, then Leela, his pastimes, so his form. We gradually get to know the Lord slowly, if there's actual purification. So Srimati Radharani is giving love of God to us, the Hladini Shakti. So when the heart becomes purified, we can receive that and then reciprocate with him actually on a spiritual platform. And until then, we can very effectively practice. We can take up the same process, and purification is going on, and we're getting some taste. So the influence of Srimati Radharani is very strongly present in this Kali Yuga in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is giving the very simple process of bhakti in the form of the Sankirtan movement, hearing and chanting the holy name, hearing the Lord's instructions, Bhagavad Gita, the descriptions and glorification of him in Srimad Bhagavatam, culminating with his own transcendental pastimes in Vraja. And if we simply accept it, and we're all trying in our own way, but if we very eagerly, as we were saying, and very intensely chant the holy name and begging for that mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Radha and Krishna combined, then very, very quickly transformation happens. Otherwise, we can analyze those who are even religious and they're speaking, well, hardly any philosophy, but some talking about being attached to the Lord and accepting the Lord, but we don't see any transformation. And yet even someone who's most fallen lowly in the modes of material nature, if they take up the process of chanting very sincerely and realize that I'm helpless, I'm caught in under these modes, even the mode of goodness, it's not good enough. In fact, that's very entrapping, very entangling, even the mode of goodness. To have health and wealth and good education and beauty, and to be a good person, charitable person, humanitarian person. So, still, and that's the endeavor for the advanced materialist, to have the kingdom of God without God. So, and we all have that struggle, that we're here because of that. We have some problem with Krishna. We have some envy, and we're proud with whatever gifts he has given us. And so we have a difficulty in very humbly approaching, taking shelter. So you can see Radha and Krishna are standing there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is simply raising his hands and say, chant Hare Krishna. Chant the holy names. And yet we're so unfortunate, we have very, very little taste. So, Sankirtan movement means congregationally glorifying the Lord. And we were hearing this nicely. Nityananda Pran Prabhu was speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam on Saturday morning about the blessings that's derived from chastely following the directions coming in disciplic succession from from Lord Chaitanya, from the spiritual master, and in congregation, in group, taking advantage of that strength that's given, sincerely chanting and giving it to others, distributing the holy name, distributing these literatures, distributing prasadam, then the mercy flows very easily. So, even though we have so little, our enthusiasm is less for what it should be, for our problematic situation. Srila Prabhupada says, right, I believe it's in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, that most men have almost no desire to go back to Godhead, but the Lord wants them to come back much more than we. We don't realize our situation, our problematic situation, and how unlimitedly wonderful what it means to go back home, back to Godhead, this relationship with Krishna. So the Lord is wanting, we're reluctant. He says Prabhupada says we have causeless unwillingness to surrender. There's no reason not to. We have everything to gain, nothing to lose. We're already losing. Everything we've been given will be taken away at the time of death. Every embodied soul is completely defeated from all his endeavors. So the sensible thing is to minimize our involvement in material endeavors, to live simply, take the basics, what we need for self, family, and then put all other energies, intelligence, wealth, our words, our strength, into practicing devotional service and helping others get it. Someone asked, actually just this morning, how can we get more mercy from Krishna? We're worshiping Krishna. And the response was, help others. Work so others can get the same mercy. So this is the spiritual formula that will attract Krishna's mercy, that to give it to others. Materially, the more we get, we hold on to it, okay, we become a little richer. But spiritually, if we get some mercy, we've all gotten mercy just sitting here, and those of us who are chanting Hare Krishna and doing some service, we've gotten mercy. But if we don't distribute what we've gained, the knowledge we've gained, and the process we've learned, then we can come to a kind of like a static platform in our advancement. And spiritual advancement means that we always we need to be going forward to feel satisfied. We need to see the realization and the ability to serve expanding and expanding. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glorified him and took shelter, saying, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartam Eka Purusha Parana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radhari Kripam Buddhir Yastamaham Prapadye. So he was glorifying that the Supreme One Personality of Godhead has appeared as his own devotee to teach the culture of Vairagya Vidya, knowledge and renunciation, and devotion unto himself. So Krishna, as we heard yesterday, he was unhappy that so few surrendered to him when he descended 5,000 years ago. So he is thinking, that his very compassionate side came up, and he was thinking, it's been a long time since I've bestowed the kind of loving devotional service that is performed in Vraja, in Vrindavan, that the most intimate devotional service. So he desired to come to earth and give it freely. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means Krishna, but externally with the color and mood of Srimati Radharani, who's the very compassionate side of the Lord. And she's the person who's distributing. So, anyway, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very complex personality, but we can just appreciate that Radharani is there in this form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, giving freely, and he's only asking, please chant Hare Krishna. Of course, if we want to chant Hare Krishna purely, offenselessly, then we take guidance from Guru and Sadhu and Shastra. But our Lord Chaitanya and this process of surrender and Lord Chaitanya's movement is really a movement of showing and for any and everyone to get a realization about the relationship, what it means to establish and develop a relationship with the personality of God. And it can be done just through chanting. And everyone can experience the shelter, the shelter giving that the Lord puts forth. The shelter means that we're freed from being pushed here and there by these three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. It doesn't bring any transcendental happiness, these modes of material nature. So we have all reason to actually take shelter and get this protection from the Daivi Prakriti. So I think I'll stop there. If there's any question or discussion, I have a few minutes. Acharya.
It was mentioned tonight and last night also that Krishna came and displayed his pastimes, yet the conditioned souls were not attracted. So he thought again, and he thought that I have not done so well, I've failed, I must come again. But somehow that explanation may not be so satisfying, because Krishna knows everything. So when I heard that, I wasn't so sure. I was wondering, surely Krishna would have known the results, perhaps, of his coming in his original form. So I was wondering if there's any other additional information you could add on that.
I heard this, this is not directly answering, but we could back up a little, I guess. Srila Prabhupada said he mentioned this phenomenon that so few were inspired to actually surrender, or even at that time, were able to understand Krishna. But he made it, he said, due to this age of Kali Yuga. And he was even quoting some modern-day scholars, and he thought that that Krishna asking us to surrender to him was a little too much, because they didn't understand. And he was mimicking the Kali Yuga resident. Surrender. Who is this Krishna? Why do I have to surrender? And it seems to me the effect of Kali Yuga. Anyway, it was the very beginning, but even at that time. So he had to, then Prabhupada was explaining, so he had to come in a hidden form, and the master is teaching service to himself, because the effects of Kali Yuga are so covering. Pride and envy, things that just won't let us really connect with the Lord, really accept the mercy. So it prevents the conditioned soul from surrendering. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a statement that the Lord says, in Kali Yuga I will appear as a Brahmana in Kali Yuga and take the dress of a renunciate so that I can teach devotional service myself. So the principle of, say, actions speak louder than words, that the example is more important than precept, the speaking instruction. Even though Krishna's example was supremely perfect and pure, it's a little unsatisfying to think that, not that Krishna couldn't affect. Some were affected, a lot were not affected. But, all the more appreciation we should have for the opportunity to become influenced by the Lord's internal potency and take to devotional service. Should appreciate Lord Chaitanya's influence and his mercy, Radharani's mercy. He's ready to give it. I mean, he's giving it. And we just have to take it.
On that point, I also had another question. Mm-hmm. On taking the mercy, it seems one thing that you were saying how the conditioned soul is reluctant, even though Krishna's inviting the souls back to him. I was wondering if you could talk, it seems in some sense it could be a kind of fear of the unknown. You stated the conditioned soul's been in this cycle eternally. So could that also be, that's a phenomenon we experience in common things, so could that also, sometimes I feel like there may be some sense of that, so how would one get over?
Yes, from time immemorial we have the tendency to be self-centered, sense enjoyment, all the base propensities that the animals are also doing. We hear that. And habit, and it's just ingrained, our nature. Just thinking I'll get happiness through eating, sleeping, mating, defending, etc. And then these covering qualities, the quality that's separating us from Krishna, envy. We're imitating, we're trying to imitate, we're competing. So that makes it extremely difficult. So, how to overcome that? I think we could say it by association and by proper example. We were hearing Srila Prabhupada speak one lecture the other day, and I was getting this realization, it's not just the information that Prabhupada gave us, but his deep conviction, It's not that he's telling us something about Krishna. Oh, okay, I understand Krishna. Just drop all these self-centered, lustful mentality that I've had for lifetimes and lifetimes. But through his association, seeing his actions and hearing his enthusiasm and his conviction that there's how useless material life is, and how attractive is Krishna consciousness, how attractive is devotional service, and how devotional service attracts Krishna. If a conditioned soul is a little bit materially exhausted or frustrated with trying again and again to become happy through this process of sense enjoyment, then it's that example, that association is I think is the key influence that can allow us a change of heart. And of course the influences, the seed, the information is coming so directly from the Lord's own words. And the example, all the multi examples are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, success stories, and how people were defeated in their endeavor for pure devotional service or becoming free from the modes of material nature by just falling prey to any one of these qualities like pride, lust, envy, like that. So the example is there, our immediate Acharya, that some of us actually saw him, and we can still, due to modern technology, see and hear him. And predecessor Acharyas, we're hearing from them, we're hearing about their life, we're hearing their statements, their wonderful bhajans that are giving just capsule essence of spiritual life and the process of devotional service. So we have to be intelligent, sufficiently intelligent to take the association. Prabhupada just talks again and again about hearing and hearing. And then we start seeing things properly. And the purification by hearing and then by chanting, the purification goes on. And anyone just beginning that, if he makes a serious experiment, in a short time, he makes a very big jump in progress from conditioned, ignorant life, bodily conception. He can make a great, I'm sure a lot of us have experienced. After just beginning, it was like a wonderful, kind of like a euphoric experience for first months, year, big jump, and then the curve kind of starts leveling off. And then we have to we depend on our spiritual intelligence we're getting and association. That's also important because sometimes it happens like that. People have said it can be like a desert in devotional service, sometimes really dry. But if we're regularly hearing Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya and taking devotee association and doing some service, Krishna will. And to the degree we're doing that, we don't have to experience some dry desert condition. It can be like just uphill, fast. So, okay, thank you for your question. Someone else? I saw a hand.
I heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is incarnation of Krishna, but in his lifetime he specifically said he is not Krishna, and it happened with Mahatma Buddha as well.
You're saying he said he was not Krishna?
Yeah, he didn't want it to be worshipped as God, and because there were others who were also doing it. But in history we see many people who have been denying that they are not God, like Buddha. but people still end up worshipping them as God. So I'm just wondering, how do you explain, like, it seems that he never wanted himself to be worshipped as God, but we here at least are still considering and worshipping him as God. There is a contradiction. I don't know if you have it.
He had the brilliance of, he knew he could have more of an effect. He had full potency, but he thought, better effect if I become the ideal teacher and show ideal example, renouncing even the most fortunate and opulent and condition of family life, married to the goddess of fortune. And after meeting his spiritual master and showing the ecstasy of chanting the holy name, he just walked away from that. So took the renounced order of life, and so heavily influenced those who were close to him to take up the path of bhakti and the Harinam Sankirtan. So he was so very effective. And so he was taking that role, and yes, he didn't want to. Shri Shri Kishore Kishori Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Gauranitai. So, of course, he didn't want to. He was serious. This was his mission, to promote the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan. And he was, this is Bhakta Rupa, he was the devotee. So some of his close associates knew who he was and sometimes would say something and he would block his ears. Vishnu, Vishnu. I'll run away, don't say that again, you'll never see me again. But then also he revealed himself as such at some point. So simultaneously he was undercover, and to those intimate devotees they clearly knew, because they were they were enlightened, they were fully educated. You can understand an incarnation of God through the scripture and understand, and there are different degrees of avatar. Some are direct, some are expansions of the Lord for a specific purpose. So, am I answering your question? Okay. But we are now worshiping him and inviting the whole world to accept him as the divine incarnation, understanding his real identity. And then people will happily, if someone is really a theistic person and wants to be devoted, connected with the Lord, then they'll take great interest in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I know most of you sitting here were very affected when you heard about the position of Lord Chaitanya. I know I was. I was very affected. I said, if this is the most recent movement of the Supreme Lord, then I want to take part.
How do we know that he actually wanted himself to be worshipped as God going forward? Like, how do we know this is what he really wanted? Like, even though he was saying not to do it.
He was asking, he wanted to be followed. He wanted us to follow his example. He ordered everyone to accept the Krishna consciousness movement and help spread it everywhere. So, and he would accept it's very interesting to read about the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he would wonderfully accept all the services of his loving devotees who knew that he was Supreme Lord, that he knew that he was Krishna. How to say? Simultaneously, he was accepting worship, even at that time, but not wanting people to glorify him as the Supreme Lord. Does anyone have any other insight on to answer that question? Just that, and he was revealed as such in just a few places in the scripture. So Bhagavatam says, intelligent persons in this age will worship the Lord who has come chanting the holy name, like that. Not darkish complexion, golden complexion. So I would say that after his presence, then, and that's what's happening after his presence. Now there's a worldwide, by Srila Prabhupada's efforts, he took up the service of taking Mahaprabhu's movement out of India all around the world. And so now people are recognizing and they're worshiping. So it's no secret. So it's like we can, unveil the secret. Is that okay? Acharya Nishta had something?
I just had a thought, Prabhu, that as far as why we would worship Lord Chaitanya as God, in reference to our acharyas, that on our own, we don't know who to worship, but we can see the disciples of Lord Chaitanya, like the 6 Goswamis, are encouraging, and Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta are advising the best way to worship Krishna by worshiping Lord Chaitanya.
Mm-hmm.
So on their guidance, that gives us an idea to worship.
And we shouldn't say that we're devotees of Krishna, but we're devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's teaching to worship Krishna. We can say devotee of Krishna, but we can't be devotee of Radha and Krishna in this age, without accepting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is that okay? Anything else? Jai Jagannath.
I just wanted to inquire, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is the main biography of Mahaprabhu, isn't it mentioned there how Mahaprabhu would accept worship from his devotees as the Supreme Lord in many instances? Like in the Mahaprakasha Lila, for example, where anointing. And there are other examples where the Lord would directly accept worship as Vishnu from his intimate sangha of devotees.
Yeah, it's a fact.
So it's not like there are no accounts of him
Right.
accepting worship as
But
the Supreme Lord.
I was trying to say it was confidential. It was wasn't for the public at that time. Is that right? Well, my understanding that it was just in the association of his confidential devotees that those revelations were given. So simultaneously he did, but at other times he would say, don't say that, don't identify me as Krishna. So both things were going on. Okay, thank you. Uji.
Keep going, thank you. Another interesting point for this Prabhu's question is when Lord Chaitanya increased the worship of Krishna, whereas if you look at other persons who are not really Krishna and people are worshiping them as God, it actually just increases worship of them.
Right.
It doesn't point to Krishna. So that's another point. Lord Chaitanya wasn't looking for glorification of himself he was looking for people to engage in the process of glorifying the Lord. And he was the most potent individual to propagate that, the Lord himself. So it's not that, it's like became we say the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we are devotees of Lord Chaitanya. But his purpose wasn't like, everybody come to me, and, it wasn't like his...
Right, he was taking the role of acharya, and he was teacher. So that's the reason he didn't want to be identified as Krishna, because he was teaching worship of Radha and Krishna.
On this point of why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was hiding his godhood, why would one hide their godhood and then later accept worship by centuries and decades and generations of devotees? Well, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he is Krishna, but he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience being Radharani. So, say you're going on stage and you're going to play the role of a king, but I know who you are, really. You're my next door neighbor, Joe. You're my next door neighbor, Joe. And oh, look, Joe's on the stage with the king's outfit on. And he's doing a really good job playing the role of a king. But I call you Joe. Hey, Joe, come over here. And you're like, oh, man, don't call me Joe. I'm the king. You're ruining I was getting absorbed in being the king, and you're just calling me Joe because you recognize me. So that disappoints your play. So when Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he didn't want to be referred to as God, as Krishna, because he's taking the mood of Radharani. And why is he taking the mood of Radharani? Because he notices in their loving affairs that even though I, Krishna, enjoy like anything, loving Radharani and accepting love from Radharani, she's enjoying 10 million times more than me when she loves me or accepts love from me. So, golly, I wish I could be in that position. My happiness is really great, but her happiness is 10 million times better. Gee, I wish I could experience that. So let me go experience that. I'm just going to go on stage, planet Earth. I'm going to go on stage and put on the costume, golden complexion and everything, and be Radharani in my mood. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very disappointed if people tried to call him God and Krishna, like that, because he's like, no, I'm in the mood of Radharani. But he did allow his most intimate associates to do that because it didn't ruin his mood. So it's very confidential why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he chose to play the role of a devotee, most specifically the topmost devotee, Radharani. And being God or Krishna was like a step down. Everybody thinks it's so great to be God, but actually that's not the highest identity. There's something beyond Krishna, and that's Radharani, because Krishna is Radharani's property. So he wanted to be in the mood of Radharani rather than a notch down Krishna.
Krishna takes shelter of Radharani. So there's higher and higher shelters. It's a competition, actually. Okay, that's a good point. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, thank you for your attention. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Shri Kishore Kishori ki, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki.
know that tune. Is there a third tune today? Oh yeah. Okay, I don't really know what to do, but anyways. What's that tune? Namo Vishnupadaya Vishnapristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
What is that tune that you sing? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Next one is, what is the first one? What is the first one? Totally out. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare heard it from Mukund Man with practice kit today. I couldn't get the tune.
What happened? Where is he? In this amount of talking, more chanting. How much talking is going to get us? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Boom Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Ready? Ready, pay attention, wait. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Ready? Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram